All right, I'm Bill Carswell. This is my assistant Jacob. Today we're going to cover standing guillotine counters, defense, and I'm going to start by mentioning that when you get put into a guillotine from standing, first thing you want to do is take your same side arm and grab his wrist here at the bone. Now, without being in there so you can get a better look of it, if this is on my neck, I'm grabbing the wrist, and I don't want to just pull down on it, because he has some strength here. What I want to do is pull my elbow into my body, like this. That way when I'm in there, I'm mechanically sound. I have a good base to prevent it. So when it's in, if he's got it locked in, and I got that little bit of space, elbow in, good and crank, I'm safe briefly. It won't last forever, but I'm safe briefly. The next thing you can do, which is similar to the technique Stephen did, is when he gets you in the guillotine, first thing first, you get that hand on his wrist. I'm going to take my right arm and loop it over his shoulder, close to his neck, like this. And I'm going to pull him in. And the reason for this is if he tries to crank, what's going to happen is he's going to be lifting against my body weight. Go ahead. And I'm safe the whole time. All right. Grab the wrist, loop the arm over the shoulder. He's going for the guillotine. I get the arm over the shoulder, my elbow in tight holding his wrist. You got to do this quick because it's a turnover. What I'm going to do now is let go of the wrist quickly enough and pop it between his legs like this. I'm going to lower my base, lift him up, and bring him down. Obviously, when it counts, you're not going to nice and easy. You're going to implant them like you're planting corn, man. Deep. But again, comes around. I grab his wrist, pull my elbow in tight. This goes up. I'm safe enough now, but I can't wait forever because he'll counter with a turnover. The turnover from here is, you remember the turnover, Jacob? Correct. Now, if I stay there too long, that's what he's going to do and end up in side control. So I get the wrist, I'm over, and I want to lower my, I don't want to lean over and lift, because that's going to hurt my back. I don't want to have to use muscle. I want to do it mechanically so it's efficient. I lower my level, leg scoots in, pick him up, and drop him down. All right, one other thing you can do here, which is, it's a different variation of what Stephen did with the collar choke from standing. He gets you in the guillotine. Now, instead of bringing my hand onto this side of his body, I'm going to bring it to the other side of his head. You can see it. To the other side of his head, like this. I'm still holding on to his wrist to protect myself. I loop it down and pull it in tight to my ribs. My elbow is pulling in tight to my ribs. From here, I'm going to neck crank him. Like that. It's not a guillotine, it's a neck crank. I'll show you from the other side. Okay. So he comes in, I reach up to the other side of his head, I loop around, and I get his neck twisted. His chin should be pointing towards my ribs. From here, I look up, arch my body, and neck crank. That's similar to the one Stephen did with the choke, but this time we're doing it, you could use it without the jacket, with the jacket, whatever you prefer. That's another option. Okay, now we're going to show you what to do if you end up in the guillotine from a man's guard position. Obviously, I'm still grabbing my wrist, pulling that elbow in tight. This gives me some time, some space. I'm going to take my other hand and loop it behind his neck, just like we did from standing, behind his neck. From there, I'm going to pop up onto my toes. I'm going to drive my shoulder into his jaw, which causes it to open up. Yeah, you can open it before it cracks. Turn the other way. All right, again. It's the same mechanic from standing, where I grab the wrist, I'm pulling my elbow in tight, not out here, in tight. This arm's going up behind his neck. Difference is, my shoulder is being driven into the side of his jaw. This causes him to release, and if you're lucky, sometimes you'll even get a tap from that. All right, so he puts it in, I grab his wrist, you can put the other hand in. He's got it in. I grab his wrist for protection, squeeze my elbow. This hand comes up behind his neck deep. I rise up on my toes. Now here's where I take my jaw and I drive it into his jaw. Yeah, my jaw. I take my shoulder and drive it into his jaw. And push the hand open. He lets go. Or the jaw cracks, pain, all the good stuff we love.